Well, hello. Today we have a very special guest, Chris Boyer, to
Oh,
our Unscripted from WG Content. Welcome to Unscripted.
well, I'm so excited to be here, Kirsten. I know that you and I have done a lot of work together in the past. You've been
Yes,
on my podcast,
I
so this
know.
is kind of like I'm on the other side of the
I'm a
camera, so to
little,
speak.
yeah, I'm a little intimidated because you're much more of a pro at this than I am. So you're going to really test my confidence as we move through 10 minutes. But I think,
Yeah,
yeah, so it's good
I
to have you here with me. You can give me
thank
some
you.
good tips. For those that don't know Chris, I think most people do. He's a senior digital strategist in our space, founder and host of the Touchpoint Podcast. So, a face and a name that we see all over the place. So, appreciate you sharing 10 minutes with me.
My
Um,
pleasure.
yeah, so we're going to have some fun. Chris knows the drill. We've got random questions here that I'm going to draw from, and we're just going to get to know you a little bit better. You
Okay.
ready?
hmm
Okay, here we go. What was your most prized possession as a kid?
Most prized possession as a kid is was my actually my teddy bear, if you can believe that. I actually
Of
held onto
course.
that teddy bear until I was like 15, probably much longer than kids would hold on to. It would be in my room. It's not like I would sleep with it. But I remember I got it when I was a very young, maybe even a toddler. My mother brought it to me or gave it to me from Germany, a little thing, and it was about this tall. I loved it so much, and I would rub its face so much that she had to continually fix the mouth,
Oh,
re-sew it on.
yeah.
Yeah. Um, and here's the kicker.
Do you still have it?
No, I don't, but it was called Benjamin.
Oh, and we know you have a Ben in your life now.
Yeah, so in part, and so for those who don't know, I do have a son now named
Yeah.
Benjamin, and we were thinking about names, and Benjamin came into the list, and of course, it came in with that soft spot in my heart
Hmm.
around the fact that I had this treasured teddy bear,
Yeah.
which of course I can't find, and it's lost to the sands of
Yeah.
time. I have no idea where it's at. But so much so that I had my parents go through like a wild goose chase to see if they could find it in any of the stuff that they've stored. They could never find it again because I thought it would be sweet to give him,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, to give him the teddy bear that, in part was named after him.
Yeah.
But couldn't find it. And then I just went on a wild goose chase looking online, and I actually found a similar looking model. It was from when I was young.
Okay.
I ordered it. It was shipped over from Slovenia or something like that. It came over. And I made sure it was here so that he has all the stuffed animals now. He doesn't even look at that toy.
Of course he doesn't.
That's nowhere on his top of his list. But
Yeah.
still, just I still have that soft spot in my heart,
Yeah.
and I now have two Benjamins in my life. Kind of follow on.
Yeah.
One more important, my son,
Yeah.
but also the Benjamin replacement toy that I got in the mail.
Well, I love that story. I wish could you at least find some pictures of you with Benjamin?
Yeah, I do have some pictures of
Well, there you
that.
go.
Yeah,
So you've got at
yeah.
least
So
evidence and proof of the
yeah.
bear.
So I
Okay.
figured later, when the story comes
Yeah.
up for him, I can kind of share it with him, and then he'll have the guilt of not playing with the toy that I treasured when I was a kid. No, no, I'm kidding. Yeah, I do have pictures and I have
Yeah.
evidence, and my mother was even very disappointed. She really went on a hunt to try to find it because
Oh,
she
I'm sure.
remembered fondly how much
Yeah. Yeah.
she worked on this. But yeah, yeah,
Well, she sounds
that's
like a great mom fixing the mouth of the bear so that you kept, so that it was, in good shape
yeah,
for you to hold on to for all those years.
exactly. Because the stuffing
Okay.
would always fall out.
Yeah, that's great. And I have to just ask because I have a Ben in my life.
Uh-huh.
He's almost 23 now, but does your Ben you call him Ben, Benji, Benjamin? What's the name?
So that's interesting because, Benjamin is a hard name to learn as a
Right.
toddler.
Yeah.
But I always like calling him by his full name, Benjamin.
Hmm.
Um, and so when we brought him to daycare, they started calling him Benji.
Yes. Yeah.
And my mother-in-law calls him Ben.
Okay.
And my wife sometimes calls him Benny.
Okay.
And so all of these names kind of swirled around him.
Yeah.
And about the time when he started to speak, he started calling himself Mimi. And I don't know,
Nothing to
maybe
do with Ben.
well, maybe something like
Yeah.
Benjamin, maybe,
Yeah.
and me, like it's for me.
Yeah.
So the other day, he's 2.5 now, right? Or almost a little bit older than that, two years, 8 months. I asked him, I said, do you know how to say Benjamin? And he said, yes. And he said, Benjamin. And I was like, great. And I said, that's your name. And he says, yeah, B is for Benjamin. And I said,
Oh.
great. I said, so what do they call you at daycare? And he says, Benji. And I said, so what do you want me to call you? And he looked me straight in the eyes and he said, Mimi. So the good news is as he grows up, he'll probably adopt
Yeah.
whatever name he wants. I want to be respectful of him, so I call him
Yeah.
Mimi.
Yeah. So we've gotten used to having these kids that go by like Ben and Benjamin and Benji and Benny. And I mean, that's been my Ben's life too. I mean, he has all the names and responds to all of them. So great name,
Well,
Chris.
I
You
did
picked a
I
good
did get the
one.
URL benboyer.com. So just
Oh,
in
that's
case websites are
powerful.
still around
Yes.
later, you
Yes.
know.
Very smart. Very smart of you. All right. If you could teleport anywhere for lunch right now,
Ooh.
where are we going and what are we eating?
Ooh, that's a good
I love
question.
lunch, by the way. Lunch is my favorite meal of the day.
I would say
Where are
I
we
agree
going?
with you. I agree with you. Lunch is a very important
Hmm.
meal of the day. I try to make time for it every day. I think about probably the best lunch I ever had was in London.
Okay.
I went to a market and the name slips me right now. It's in the shadows of the London Bridge, right? In that area. There was a big outdoor market. And knowing I was going there, I was at the time I was talking to our friend Brian Gresh. We
Hmm.
all know Brian
Hmm.
Gresh.
Hmm.
And he says, if you go to this market, make sure you stop by this stall and get a duck confit sandwich.
Mm.
And I said, a duck confit sandwich? Okay, well, I'm gonna, try it out. And sure enough, we were there, and I stumbled right upon this food vendor, and I got the duck confit sandwich, and I'm telling you, it was the best lunch I have ever
Really?
had. It was so good. It to me, wouldn't spring top to mind for me, but
Yeah.
if I could go anywhere, I would go there again today and get that duck confit sandwich, and just for lunch, because then I was able to walk around the market, eat it with my hand, kind of
Yeah.
like a state fair and it just was perfect. Just the best, most, and it felt like you were eating a five-star meal, but all within two slices of bread.
Hmm.
So,
Like when you get like a really good lobster roll and it's like this is like
oh yeah.
$45 sandwich, but it's like the best. So, do you order duck normally, or was that kind
Now,
of a
well,
once-in-a-while thing?
occasionally I
Because
do.
I
I
just
mean,
don't like duck.
some people don't do duck well, right?
Yeah.
And they always do duck breast, and you could do it with the crispy skin. I think it works
Yeah.
well. But you have to be very cautious. It's kind of like lamb. I love
Yeah.
lamb,
Yeah.
but you have to be cautious when you order that at
Yeah.
restaurants because sometimes it's really
Very
good
true.
or sometimes it's really bad.
Yeah.
So I usually do my research beforehand.
Okay.
I'm the kind of person that if we're going to go to a restaurant, I look at the menu online and
Yeah.
try to kind of think about, well, these are the five different plates I might try, and then of course I ask the wait person, which one should I try, etc. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't normally order duck per se, but when I do and it's at a good restaurant, it's totally worth it.
Yeah.
So
All right. So we're going to London and having a duck confit sandwich.
absolutely. Probably
All right.
probably an ale somewhere, right? At a pub.
There you go. All right. Done. We'll go do
Would you
that
go with
together.
me? Would you go with
Yes.
me?
Are you
All
kidding?
right,
Yeah.
let's do
You know,
it.
there's direct flights from Cincinnati to London. So sign me up. Let's go.
There you go.
Did you have a favorite oddball hobby growing up?
Oddball hobby. It's interesting the term oddball,
I
right? Because
know.
it kind of implies a negative
Yeah.
connotation or like some weirdness.
Oh.
Most of my hobbies were pretty much in alignment with like what my other peers would probably do.
Mm-hmm.
So I grew up in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And so what was really big for nerdy kids in the 80s, like me, was playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, sure.
If you ever watched Stranger Things, for those of you
Mhm.
younger than myself, you know that was a big thing. That's how they all would get together, and that's what we would do. We'd get together and we'd play Dungeons and Dragons, and it was like dice and someone telling a story, etc.
Yeah.
But they had these little tiny figurines,
Yeah.
and the little tiny figurines that you would get would be like your character or whatever. And you could go to stores and you can like look through all of these at pewter, kind of
Yep.
like
I
tin
remember.
soldiers, but they
Yep.
were yeah, and I remember for Christmas one year, I got a set of four figurines and some hobby paint. And
Oh,
that
okay.
started this whole
Yes.
kind of thing
Yeah.
about me painting these little tiny pewter
Yeah.
characters, Dungeons and Dragons style characters with various different, at one point, I think I may have had 30 or 40 different colors of paint.
Yeah.
And I would sit there in my room at night. I remember listening to the FM radio, listening to
Mm-hmm.
new wave music
Mm-hmm.
as I'm
Little
painting
Duran
these
Duran or
figures.
something.
Absolutely, little
Yeah.
Kate Bush, whatever.
Yeah.
And it was that was a hobby that I had as a teenager.
Yeah.
Um, so I have no idea when I stopped doing it,
Yeah.
or where all of this stuff
I
went.
was
I'm
just gonna say we
sure
need to find Benjamin and we need to find all of these Dungeons and Dragons little things.
little figurines.
Yeah,
Yeah, again,
figurines. Yeah.
and I feel like
And
if
they
I would
should be
bring
on your
back
shelf behind you with all those other toys.
exactly. These are my adult toys, by the way.
Oh, adult toys. Okay.
You know, and later on you get into like Yellow Submarine and the Beatles, and that's what this
Okay.
is in here. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I know
So
that.
I guess that would be the closest thing to an oddball hobby I had, sort
Yeah.
of a, hobby to do. I mean, I would also play yo-yo. I was really good at doing the
Yeah.
yo-yo.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't think those things are oddball though. I think
No,
they're
they're not. You're right. I
mainstream.
should probably strike that part out of the question next time I
Yeah.
say it. All right, here's
Yeah.
the last one, and then we're going to move to some would you rathers.
Okay.
If you could swap lives with anyone for a week, who would you choose?
For a week. So this is not a Freaky Friday situation.
No,
This is
one
like a
week. You get to
full
swap
week.
lives with someone for 1 week.
So you could go many different ways with this, right? You could
Yeah.
say like
I want
I
to live the
would.
luxury lifestyle or
Right. Or I will swap into the lives of these technocrats and actually turn their companies around and make
yeah,
them
there you go.
kind. But no, that's not the way I would go. I actually, because I am a father and I'm very much attached to my little boy, and seeing how he is experiencing life anew, I controversially would say I'd probably be swapped with him. Now, him in my body would be
Yeah,
just a
yeah,
pointless mess, but me in his body to be able to experience things all anew from that
yeah,
perspective and like,
yeah.
oh, Dada, what is that noise? Or
Uh-huh.
look, cement mixer, just the delight that he
Yeah.
has and the joy he has about the very simplistic things. That's kind of the angle that I kind of want to go towards. And so maybe
Mm-hmm.
more of a minimalistic, even youthful world and
Mm-hmm.
I know that feels kind of weird, and I did mention Freaky Friday, but it does feel like that's a little bit of like kind of the angle I would take.
Yeah.
Is that a weird way to answer that question?
No, not at all. And I totally get it. And I think, having a young child and living life a little bit through their eyes and that curiosity and all the questions and the experiences they're having for the first time. And I can see why you would answer it that way. I mean, because it's such a joy to see our kids do go through all of those things. And it sounds like your Ben is really a bright young boy. I mean, he's 2.5 and he's talking and,
Yeah,
having all these conversations with you. I mean, he sounds like,
yeah. Well, and plus, he gets all the toys he wants to play with.
yeah,
He has two parents that cater him everywhere
yeah,
he goes.
yeah.
He gets to watch all the Paw Patrol that he wants to watch. No,
Can
every
I
week.
switch places with him too?
I mean, exactly. It sounds ideal, doesn't it?
Yeah, he's got
He
the
just
life.
he randomly says, "I want an ice cream sandwich," and somehow we produce an ice cream
Yeah,
sandwich for him.
yeah,
That's a good life.
yeah. You could take him to Duluth, Minnesota for a little vacation.
That's
Take him.
right.
He's got a good life. I love that. All right. Okay, so here's some fun would you rathers.
Mhm.
Would you rather have a personal driver or a personal chef?
I like both of those activities. I like to drive and I like to cook.
Okay.
So both of those, it would almost feel like you're taking something away from me. So if I were to take one of the two activities I like to take away from me, I think I love to cook more than I love to drive. So I would have a driver.
Mm-hmm.
Um, as long as I could pick the car, right, that they would drive me around in, because I
Okay.
would then want to really get into it, have a spacious back
Mm-hmm.
area where the whole
If you're a
family can
passenger
settle
all
in.
the time, yeah, you want to have a
Yeah.
passenger experience. Yeah.
I want to have a passenger experience. I don't want it to be
Yeah.
like, the Uber that pulls up in front of my house. I want it to be like spacious where me,
Mm-hmm.
my wife, my little guy, my friends, we can all be together. We can do whatever, maybe, so I think I would take that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's not to say I don't like driving. I love driving. But yeah, that's probably what I
You
would take.
really love driving?
I do. I do. There's something
Oh,
about it.
I
I
mean, I
think
like sometimes, but
I mean, there's something about it. I mean, it's kind of, first of all, it's relaxing to
Yeah.
me, even though you're in traffic and you have to deal with other, people on the road. It's kind of on long road trips, it's kind of nice and kind of relaxing. You get to, there's a sense of like
Hmm.
purpose to it. I don't know. I've driven across the United States a couple of times,
Hmm.
so I really
Yeah.
like driving. So I don't
Yeah.
know.
No, I do get it. I mean, in fact, my son, who just started his first like big job out of college, he's got like a 30-minute commute. And I'm like, I trust me, you're gonna learn to actually really enjoy that commute. Cause like when you can turn on a podcast and you know where you're going and it's the same way every morning and the same way back, you kind of learn to really appreciate that time.
Yeah.
And so I do understand, I think, but the other part of that is like traffic and bad drivers and let's do like country road driving. Those are the good ones,
Exactly. I
right? Like
like
let's
that.
just go
Rural
drive to
driving.
Duluth or a lake or something. So that's my
Exactly.
kind of driving. All right. Would you rather be able to instantly learn any skill or instantly fix any mistake? Learn a new skill or fix a mistake in an instant, right? So you get to do it,
In
learn
an
it.
instant. And it could it be any skill or any mistake, or
Yeah,
we have to be
you
selecting
get to
here?
make this up. I mean, this is just
Yeah, I know. But so you could see I'm always asking for the
yeah.
parameters of the questions. That's kind of my style. Um, I am a fixer. I do like to fix things.
Yeah.
But I do get frustrated with fixing some things around the house that, I'm not as good as of a handyman as I could be, and I
Hmm.
sometimes get a little frustrated. My wife sometimes gives me a lot of space when I'm
Hmm.
trying to correctly, hang up pictures evenly, etc. Um, so I think the fixing thing would be something I would want to instantly do,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Um, I kind of like the pleasure of learning new things. There's
Yeah.
something about the journey of learning. So I think, yeah, I'm going to go with fixing things.
Yeah. That is a really good logical explanation for how you came to that decision. Because yeah, there is something about the journey of learning that's enjoyable, but when you're fixing something, you kind of just want like it to be fixed right away.
Yeah, yeah.
So, all right, last one. Would you rather spend a year traveling the world or a year curled up with unlimited books and movies?
I feel like our lives right now are filled with unlimited books and movies at our fingertips if we want to.
True.
So I think it's kind of leaning more towards we don't travel as much as we
Hmm.
could.
Hmm.
Of course, I would want to select who I travel with, but I think traveling definitely. There are places in this world that I have not been to that I really, really want to go to. There
Hmm.
are actually, I have traveled to 48 of the 50 United States.
Okay.
So, and what I mean by travel is like I've actually had trips there. I've actually spent time there. It isn't
Okay.
like I just drove
Like
through
passing
it
through. Yeah.
or like lay over an airport. So the two obviously are Hawaii and Alaska because they're the furthest away. They're still on my bucket list to do. But there are certainly places in the world that if I had a year to do it, I definitely would. And I'd probably start with Machu Picchu
Hmm.
in Peru. I would go there. I think there's just something about that. I would,
Hmm.
most of the seven wonders of the world, I would
Hmm.
probably make my way around to travel that and
Hmm.
and find that. I wouldn't do it by cruise ship.
Mm-mm.
No, you wouldn't find me on a cruise ship.
Mm-mm.
Uh, I would probably fly and then, maybe rent a car because I like to drive or a motorcycle,
Mm-hmm.
or something like that to kind of get
Yeah,
through that. So
you sound like a good traveling companion. We'll
I
have to.
try to be.
Yeah. Well, you should talk to Christy
Yeah.
Presty, our CEO. She has that same dream about the seven wonders of the world. And I think she's checked some of that off of her list. So, I think she's going to be at HCIC. You'll have to ask her about that.
Well, she's a good friend of mine, so I'll have to reach
Yeah.
out to her and talk to her
Yeah.
anyway. So that's great.
So, what's bringing you joy these days? Just with the way the world is and the chaos and
I know you
everything,
need
what
you
brings
need
you joy?
state. Well, I mean, obviously, it's a retread of a common
Yeah.
theme here. Being a father is really a lot of delight because I spend more time fixating on those things and
Mm-hmm.
really looking, and it gives me optimism and hope that the world that he's
Yeah.
going to
Yeah.
eventually grow into. We're going to keep being there. So,
Yeah.
not to get too negative, but the other things I like, I I really enjoy like I've been really into some watching some really great television programs lately that I've really thoroughly enjoyed. I think there's some great ones out there. Like for example, the now why doesn't it spring to mind? The one with Seth Rogen.
Oh my
The
God, I couldn't watch that. That gave me so much anxiety. The studio,
Yeah, the
whatever.
studio. That's it. Yeah,
Oh,
that's so good. I love that show.
I started to
Yeah,
watch it and I was like, I can't watch it. There was so much
yeah.
that went wrong and like his personality, I was like, I can't watch it.
Well, I think it's brilliantly written, but there's a
It
lot of
is. I mean,
great. Yeah.
yeah.
I'm really starting to read more. I've been a very big nonfiction reader,
Mhm.
but now I'm starting to read more fiction, which is kind of
Mhm.
like a treat to myself to do that.
Yeah.
I just finished up a book about the growth of Paris as a metropolitan under Napoleon,
Hmm.
and so now I'm going to go into a science fiction kind of phase here and start to
Okay.
read. That brings me some joy. And
Yeah.
then, at the end of the night, now that it's not so hot and it's at the end of the
Mhm.
summer here, we can start enjoying sitting out on the patio at nights
Yeah.
and just looking up at the skies and just enjoying just being alive
Hmm.
and being healthy in this life.
Yeah.
So
All
that's
right.
kind of
Well,
what I would
hey,
say.
cheers to that. I mean, being alive, being healthy, and getting to watch our shows, our movies, and read books, and maybe someday go on a big trip. It's all good stuff.
Right. That's
Yeah, and if
right.
you love to cook, have you watched The Bear?
Oh, yes. Again, that probably is a show that drives you
Did
with
you watch the
anxiety.
latest season?
So no, I haven't. I have that on
Okay,
deck.
I just finished it. It's so good. Put it
Yeah,
on
it's
your list.
it's great. In fact, yeah, that is one of
Yeah,
those shows that I think is right there. That's just
so good.
wonderfully written,
Yeah,
so
yeah, it's
good.
really good.
But yeah, I'm kind of also one of those I want to watch it all, so I wait for the series to come out
Yeah.
before I start watching it. Don't
Hmm.
get me wrong, there are certain shows like The Gilded Age that I've been watching week and week and week and week, but I really would rather just like go
Sit
right
down.
through yeah,
Yeah,
if I
I'm
could.
with you. Binge watch it. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, Chris. I'm sure I'll
Thank
see you
you.
very soon or talk to you even sooner. So I appreciate
I
you
look
taking
forward
time
to
with
it.
me.